So no card, just a warning. Atlantic's already had a sin bin. And now across the line, that is number 8, Steph Gillis, but can she touch down? No, it's held up. So frustration for Atlantic here as they continue to mount the pressure. And boy, would they ever like to equal or better this BC team in this bi-coastal affair. So it has to be said, Atlantic has been putting a ton of pressure on BC in the last 6 or 7 minutes, just parked down in the BC end. Great conditions here this afternoon, about 24, 25 Celsius, maybe a bit warmer than that. Didn't check the exact temperature, but very nice. The humidity not near what it's capable of here in Ottawa, as we have a back row move from BC, and that's Miles forward. That's picked up. And so they'll have a scrum to Atlantic. So BC getting some territory back, so they're not pressed right up against the try line, but it will be Atlantic that has the advantage just outside the 22 line, as we see number 8 for Atlantic coming off and then back on, but now number 23, Caitlin Blanchard, is on the field, and we'll see who that's for in just a second. That's for the second row, Christine Lovett, wearing number 5. She has come off her afternoon, ending early. I'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors here, DHL, Gowlings Law Firm, the Government of Canada, Under Armour, as well as CN, Enterprise Canada, Marsh Insurance, and Merit Travel. Now, indirect penalty here now against Atlantic. So Atlantic retreating 10 meters. Another penalty. So Atlantic could be having that conversation again. BC just pounding it up. They're not kicking that ball yet. A miss one, and maybe an unintentional miss one, as Britta Peterson came flying through. Now, service to the fly half, Galbraith, and she's stuffed it back inside. So Atlantic dead last in the standings, 0-2. We'll take a look at those standings in a moment. Ontario sitting in first place with a game in hand. They got bonus points in both their games. Équipe Quebec is in second. Prairie's in third. And good spinning ball out wide. Now that's the wing, Kira Malone, and she has stepped inside her tackler and made good inroads well inside the Atlantic 22. And the tide has turned for this BC team. Now a big trundling run from Iona Schamberger. She goes a couple. Ball finally dug out by the scrum half, Burnham. Now fending off a tackler, Brittany Sims. She stays on her feet, rolling maul organized. Atlantic just trying to hold that maul up, so they can take that possession away. The referee will give them the scrum if they can do it, but that maul is held up or pulled down. It looks like they were across the line, but the try was held up. Ball did not make contact with the ground, so Atlantic reserves looking on and wishing their mates well in this goal line stand. So Burnham will put this in, and there's acres of space to the right of that scrum. There's a wing marking the BC wing, but look at all that space. You could run a couple of big lawnmowers through there and not hit anyone. So my guess is we'll see Laura Crow-Hutchin, who scored a couple of tries on her birthday the other day. She is just going to pick that ball and go flying to the right with some support in the form of Christina Burnham, and they'll get a try here. I don't know why Atlantic wouldn't be pulling some cover across, because now that's a good spin scrum move, but has BC gone across? And now it's going to be another scrum out 5. Guess that ball was, what's the call there? Was the ball held up? Not really getting an indication. The referee was on the other side of that rolling maul. Couldn't really see what was up, but and that's going to be halftime. So opportunity lost for BC in these final seconds of the first half. And so exciting doings here out at Twin Elm Rugby Park. It's 15-10, BC leading Atlantic, and we're going to be back with more NWL rugby action in about 10 minutes. Thanks a lot for watching. Back in a bit.
that steam whistle? Which one is that? Steam whistle?
So you can tell by the reaction of fans here that BC coming onto the field. Quick note to Brian Kelly, if you're monitoring in France, going to give you a couple of recaps as we were missing first part of the stream due to technical issues. So British Columbia scoring tries from Kira Malone, number 11, and number 13, Emily Young, with Kara Galbraith adding a conversion and a penalty to make it 15 points for BC. And the Atlantic team storming back with a try from flanker number 7, Tanisha Campbell, and center Adrienne McDonald. Neither of those was converted. That's good for 10 points for Atlantic. And we've got a titanic battle organized for this second half as BC was parked right on the Atlantic end and couldn't put it across in the dying moments of the first half. But Atlantic has had 2 successful trips down the Pacific end. Atlantic wearing black and will be playing from left to right on your screen as we go back to live picture here. So as I mentioned before, we've had a wet week here in Ottawa, but the pitch is in great condition. And resident groundskeeper Shaggy, great guy to get to know and have a yarn with. Fans vocal today, supporting BC and Atlantic. The restart from British Columbia goes to the captain, Mary Giles, goes to ground, but it goes back. Her boyfriend's actually doing camera work for us this afternoon, and big thanks to him. So if you notice, he's focusing on the front row a lot and offering up technical advice. That's why that's happening. So we're going to have a line out just to the left of our broadcast position here. Oh, and that player's brought down in a heap at the back of the line out. That was number 8 for BC, Laura Crow Hutchin, and she went to the top floor and then took the express ride down. Inside center, Andrea Catwell going into the line for Atlantic, and now a penalty coming. Offside against BC. They're going to retreat 10 meters. Seems to be an energized Atlantic side here as Mandy Wells gets good service out to her back line. BC quick up to make those first tackles. That's the hooker, Megan Kinsman. She's found a half gap. Offload now. Things moving well for the team in black. Oh, and a big clean out by the BC front row. Number 22, Holly Jones. So now, penalty against BC. Quick tap ball. That's going to go to McGrath. And boom, she goes through the line. How do you do? A big tackle made by BC number 17, Jillian Bogue. And now look at how fast up those BC tacklers are. They want to pinch that ball at the breakdown. They're working hard on the ruck. So's Atlantic. Stays Atlantic side, but not before a whistle, leaving their feet at the breakdown. Atlantic knew it was wrong. They were sealing that ball off. They'll retreat 10 meters. And, boy, the contest at the breakdown is getting pretty fierce in this competition. Taking a look at our standings, Ontario in first place with 10 points. Equipe Quebec with 9 points. British Columbia with 9 points. And the Prairies have got 5 points. And Atlantic have got no points. Line out successful. Good spin pass from Christina Burnham. Now cutting back inside is Kira Malone. She's already scored 1 try this afternoon for British Columbia. Now out to Sims, the hooker. Back inside to Malone. She's a hungry little winger. She's looking for work all the time. First, we got Lindsay Anderson playing at fullback. She's already played scrum half in this tournament and wing, and now she's at fullback. Shows the utility abilities of her, as we have fly half Kara Galbraith punch that down to the corner. That's a good touch finder. That'll be 5 meters out on the dot, and that's some pretty precision kicking there. So my thought is, in the playbook, it's called the rolling maul off this line out, and they'll try and push Atlantic across. First jumper, in they come, and now that's been pulled down, or it's fallen down. No indication from the referee that it was pulled down. So that ball comes out clean. Galbraith back inside to the inside center. Sims, that's the other Sims. Now switching direction to the other Sims, Brittany. Just at the line, and try given to number 22, Rosemary Lang. I said it was Holly Jones. That was on the other team. Sorry about that. Rosemary Lang scoring for British Columbia. So that extends the lead to 20-10. So that may be the nerve settler BC needed. Makes it a 2-score game now. They're going to have to score tries to get back into this, the Atlantic will. So once you have that kind of buffer, you can absorb the short-term disappointment as long as your scoreboard keeps ticking over. Kara Galbraith. Will she add her second conversion? No, she won't. So that'll keep the score at 20-10. A popular player amongst these fans. Definitely no fooling there. Here to see Rosie do some damage. Ooh, and that player just very nearly got in front of the Atlantic kicker there. Well taken by Brittany Sims, the hooker. BC immediately setting up, but the counter ruck has taken that possession away. And so got BC now up on attack. Oh, and just tiptoeing down the touchline. Rose Lebreche puts the flag up to indicate that player went into touch. Now we got a guest announcer here and one of our officials, and it's Scotty Hems. And Scotty, you're from New Brunswick. How are you enjoying your time out here so far?
Absolutely excellent. You know, every time you get any chance to travel at all.
Sorry, Scotty. Just got to get your mic going here. It should be going. Stand by here, Scott. Okay, so we got. So you take that mic and just talk into that, Scott.
Hello.
No. Okay, so we're having some technical issues here as we have another try about to start. Just hang on here. So now, big tackle around the head there. Alicia Noger making that tackle on her opposite number, Christine Lovett. Spinning it out wide now. It's Adrian McDonald. And is Atlantic in for their third try? Yes, they are. So stand by here, Scott. We're just in throes of a big game here. I'll hand off the mic to you for a second. So you're refereeing out here, and this is your first experience out in Ontario. How are you enjoying it?
Loving it, absolutely. For me, it's been a very long road and whatnot, but anytime you're ever asked to travel for rugby experiences whatsoever, it's always an accomplishment, and you learn to enjoy every second you hear, whether you're a player, coach, or an official. So for me, hopping on a plane to head in this direction is as great as anybody here, and seeing some familiar faces right now. This Atlantic team that I'm looking at actually refed one of their games at Easterns there a couple weeks ago in Charlottetown, and I had a Newfoundland versus Nova Scotia game, and that was very well contested, very good on both those ends, and I think that's making up the majority of this team. I'm seeing a couple of girls here from PEI, and I'm seeing at least one from New Brunswick, but I know the majority of the core is made up players from the Rock and players from the Celtics. So seeing right here Mandy going for the kick, I know she was very structural in the offensive line for the Nova Scotia team. Really loves her box kicking, really loves to create pressure that way and put the other team pin in the corner, as they call it. So very, very interesting to see these guys put up a fight, considering a tough past couple of games for them coming up against these strong teams. So when you're seeing them up against British Columbia, putting on a fight within 5 points of them right now, this is just excellent for everybody to watch. It's a contest, and the closer games are much more enjoyable to be a part of.
Sorry to cut you off there, Scott. The try by Chelsea McGuire. So just wanted to get that information in as we have the kickoff. And, we talk about development of National Women's League Rugby, and we're going to National Festival next week in Calgary. But, development of referees is very important, too, to get you out in the Atlantic and exposed to different types of competitions, and vice versa. We're sending people out to places like Newfoundland for the CRC under-19s and the senior CRC competition. It's all great stuff as we see Atlantic pouring the pressure on hooker Megan Kinsman. But look at the counter from BC as Lisa McGrath tries to drive through. And now a bit of a rolling maul as the ball comes out. Mandy Wells stepping inside. Now Atlantic getting driven back in the tackle situation. BC stole it, actually, and that's what that tackle's about. And Christina Burnham now, taking an open play there. So now we got a whistle. What's it like getting a chance to meet referees from around the country, too, and just in the off time talking about theories and improving?
It's always amazing looking at how each referee interprets a law, and that changes from every ref, and every province it's different, and across Canada it's even more different. So when you're coming here and you're dealing with both the assistant referees today are on the National Elite panel, and the referees who are not on there are certainly working their way up, and it's really amazing to work with them. And they, tactic-wise, you look at something like scrums coming up here, and this is really where Atlantic Canada has had their best rugby throughout the entire tournament, and the scrum contest going on right now, very interpretable. So it's very awesome to see these referees who work with us and whatnot. So
don't mean to cut you off, but we got to keep going with what's in front of us, and that's Ellen Murphy coming on, as well as Rebecca Chapman replacing Lisa McGrath, the front row player, and also Stephanie Gillis coming off. So some important changes made in the scrum there to bolster the Atlantic front rows. They're just 5 points adrift in this contest. So BC now encountering some fresh legs in the form of the Atlantic front row. Good spin pass by Burnham. That's out to Sims, the hooker. Now a rolling maul, and that's splintering apart. BC players got to add to that, or they're going to lose momentum and maybe lose possession of that ball. And that's exactly what's happened. So all that good work by BC, but Atlantic held that ball in, and now it's a scrum, albeit in the shadows of their own posts. They'll have the opportunity here. Important scrum for Atlantic here. They got to deal with this pressure, and they're probably going to have to pass in goal in order to get a clearance kick out. Oh, and that's just a dreadful bit of work there. And now just a Hail Mary kick, but not before the knock-on from that sideways pass got knocked out of the hands of the scrum half, the scrum half Mandy Wells. So pressure time right at their own try line, and lucky it didn't net a 5-pointer for BC the way that went. It should have always probably been just a straight shot back to the fly half and a clearance kick. Maybe setting her up well to the side of the scrum, spin pass, hope for a clean transfer and get that ball out. So Burnham will put this in. Expect to see Lindsay Anderson try and get her hands on this ball, the fullback for BC. She's just got so much pace, and she likes to come in the line whenever she can. Good, solid scrum, doesn't move. And look at that, just as I said, Anderson flying through at pace, gets a meter short of the line. Now Burnham going right. Isn't enough room for the wing on that side. Annabelle Arnott to score. She is just held up. So Atlantic defense really doing some big things here in this second half. And now they might have numbers out wide. Anderson trying for the line again, this time getting within a half meter. 2 players on 3 out wide, but a cutback inside by the number